I wanted to take you to the ancient site of Colossae here in the Lycus Valley in Asia Minor, a place that's near Hierapolis and Laodicea, where 3 churches were planted by Epaphras, a disciple of Paul. Paul would write a letter to the Colossians and refer to a person who had lived here before, and that was Onesimus. Onesimus was the slave of Philemon, who was a part of the church here at Colossae. I wonder about Philemon when I'm at this site. Even though it hasn't been excavated, we're here in an ancient theater. I wonder, would he have been part of the theater life? Would he have been part of Roman life in general at this site? He owned a slave, and even though he was in a church, apparently it was normal for him to think of Onesimus first as a slave. Now, Paul will write to the Colossians and say, Onesimus has been useful to me. Onesimus' name actually means useful. He's been useful to Paul as a runaway slave in Rome, and Paul is saying, I'm sending him back to Colossae. Well, the companion letter to this is Philemon. Philemon's a part of the church, and he's about to receive back Onesimus, who, under Roman law, could be punished quite severely. And Philemon will have a choice to make. Will he relate to Onesimus primarily as a former slave, or primarily, as Paul frames it, as his brother? I actually like being here in this ancient theater, which hasn't been excavated, but even if it were, it would be in disuse. You see, Philemon lived in a world that was visibly dominated by Roman institutions, including the theater, the roads, an acropolis, all kinds of institutions that were quite loud in your life in the Roman Empire that seemed to be the greatest, the most magnificent in the world. And slavery was something that sort of preceded everybody. It was a part of the fabric of Roman life. But Paul represented a subversive message in the Roman Empire. Not just that Caesar wasn't the Son of God really, but that Jesus Christ was, but also that the ethic of the family, the household, the identity of you and me as siblings in the household of God actually trumped the relationships, even those defined in the Roman Empire like master and slave. So as you think about the ruins of this site and the ruins really of the whole Roman Empire, think about the lasting impact of the Christian message, the impact that it had on Philemon's life, as we trust that he eventually received Onesimus back here and welcomed him as a brother.